I tried to do my best Robert De Niro face in the thumbnail, but I'm horrible at it. I cannot do that face he makes. Like, just the classic Robert De Niro face. I just can't do it. But I do have a prop from Derek that's the same type of gun they use in the movie. So let's review The Irishman. How does that sound?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
The Irishman. Now I'm trying to remember the last time Scorsese made a mafia movie. I think it's Casino. So it's been 14 years. No, 24 years. What? 24 years since Scorsese has made a movie related to the mafia. Not 24 years since he's made a movie, but one that's related to the mafia. So The Irishman is the newest movie from director Martin Scorsese. It stars Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci. So you look at the poster of this movie and you're already excited for it. Like, I could literally just show the poster to somebody and they think, oh yeah, that looks good. Because come on, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, and a Martin Scorsese picture, and it's 3.5 hours long, and it's also available on Netflix. Like, how does all that information not excite you? I don't know how it couldn't. And I guess I can't really describe the premise of this. Premise essentially is it follows the story of Frank Sheeran. Jimmy Hoffa's there too. I'm horrible at describing the story. I'm not going to try and synopsis this because there's not really like a premise of the film. It's not like Knives Out where it's like, oh, the premise is this person is killed and he wants to find. No, it's like a movie about the mafia, and it's like the story essentially of Frank Sheeran's involvement in the mafia. So that's basically what the film is. So anybody who even knows film in and out would already know definitively this movie is going to be awesome, and everybody's been excited for this movie for months. Because, well, I've already described all the talent behind this movie. It's insane. I don't think there is a film in past recent years that's had the amount of talent. I don't know if I can say that, but there's so much talent behind this movie. So it's like already definitively you're watching the movie. Like, everybody when they saw the ad on, was it on the Grammys? They saw an ad on the Grammys. If you see that ad, you just think it's going to be amazing because just the talent behind it. So yeah, I guess. Okay, let's get the obvious out of the way. The acting in this movie is incredible. It is some of the best easily of the year. I think Robert De Niro kills it. He's awesome in this movie. Joe Pesci's awesome. Al Pacino did great. They all did so well in the movie. It's kind of a given that they're all going to be great in this movie because they're all great actors, but like genuinely they are really good actors. Like a lot of actors in their old age. In fact, a lot of these guys like Joe Pesci hasn't been in a film for years. And Al Pacino, he's still in good movies, but Robert De Niro has kind of lagged behind. He had Joker recently, and that's now this. But it's like all three of these actors, even though it's been like 24 years since they've done one of these movies, they still know what they're doing, and they're still really good in their roles. They still all kill it, and just to say the effects in this movie are seamless. The effects never once took me out of the film. Now, I could look at Robert De Niro's face and think, okay, that's not exactly what he looked like back then, but like, it's still amazing. It still looks really good, and I never got took out of the film at all. They always looked like real people, and I think they use effects to make them older at a point, because at a point in the film I thought, that's not what they look like nowadays, and I was right, but like, obviously they use effects to make them older at a point, and they use most of the movies them being younger. Holy crap, this movie's 3.5 hours. Of course it's essentially just a story about people in the mafia. And it goes from like their 50s till their 90s. And so essentially the film takes place over a 40-year span. So the effects are very necessary, and they're very good, and I never once noticed them, which is why this movie, that's impressive, to be honest, because I see effects like de-aging effects, a lot of time I see them and I think that's not very good, but they've gotten really good, like with Samuel L. Jackson and Captain Marvel. These de-aging effects and aging effects, like in Endgame, there was some of that, they're getting really good, and I think The Irishman is one of the best examples of it thus far, and it's surprising to see it not come out of, like, the best of these effects to not come out of, like, a Marvel movie, which has way more millions of dollars. No, it's coming out of a Martin Scorsese Mafia movie on Netflix. Let's get this out of the way. The runtime of this film, I think, will scare a lot of people away because they'll think, oh my god, that's way too long. It's not at all. I don't think... If you watch the film knowing it's 3.5 hours, you're not going to feel it. I barely felt the 3.5 hour runtime because it's so freaking investing. It's just so engaging. The story is just so gripping. I never really noticed its insane runtime because, well, if you have a film that's 3.5 hours, you're going to have to pace it well. And this movie's not fast paced at all, but it's paced where it's never boring and it's always interesting. And that takes talent. And I think I haven't really seen a 3-hour film besides like It Chapter 2 and The Age of Extinction that I think is bad. But most of the time they're very well paced, and this movie is incredibly well paced. I was very impressed. I've seen some people say online that the film is long, the film is good, but it's like way too long and they lost their investment by the end. I don't see that because the film is evolving as it goes. It's changing as it goes. It's not really the same thing happening over and over again. It's moving forward. Things are changing. It's getting more intense. And oh my gosh, this movie's intense. I never felt comfortable watching this movie. That is skill right there for Scorsese. I never, when I was watching the film, felt fully comfortable because there's always something off. Even if the scene is nice, even if they're just talking over dinner, just talking about normal life, it's never comfortable. Joe Pesci is never a comfortable guy to be around. Robert De Niro is never comfortable. Al Pacino, not at all. It's like this film, it's never right. There's always something off. There's a moment in this film that's just maybe 20, I don't know, it's a huge block of time that's just this straight tension and there's no music. And it's mostly just people driving around and talking, but it's like knowing what's going on and knowing what's going to happen makes you just so intense. And somebody can just flip out in this movie and shoot someone if they don't like it. And that's kind of what makes this movie rather intense, is because you're like, well, any of these people could just die. And whenever there is a kill in this movie, it's not epic. It's not like a brutal kill. It's just boom, boom, you're dead. And it's it's more terrifying, actually, than like when you get in a movie when somebody like brutally kills someone. It's like more terrifying when it's just bang, you're dead. It's for some reason that's just more terrifying. Maybe it's because whoever's killing is just relaxed. Like Robert De Niro in this film is like mostly calm the entire time. He's not happy the entire time at all. But like he's mostly never flipping out while watching it. Or he's never flipping out in the movie. Unlike Al Pacino. And he still, like, whenever he kills someone, it's just, you're dead. Okay. And obviously it affects him later in the film, but it's like, it's kind of terrifying because he doesn't feel like any emotion after killing somebody. I mean, I don't really know that, but like, there are some scenes in this movie where Robert De Niro is terrifying because him and Joe Pesci just never freak out. They're so calm, and it's rather creepy. Al Pacino, however, his character is the worst. At the beginning of the film, he's rather likable, but it's like as it went on, I just was thinking, no, stop. You're gonna get yourself killed because he's so. You're never in a room with the Jimmy Hoffa, the character he plays. You're never in a room with him where he's not in control of the room and just saying whatever the heck he wants. He's so talkative, so loud, and it's enjoyable to watch, but it's genuinely creepy, and it's because you always are thinking you're going to get yourself killed because you're going to offend somebody, you're going to do it the wrong way. And if you know this movie, well, it is about the disappearance of him, so yeah. Yeah, that was just straight like 5 minutes of me talking about how well done the intensity is in this movie. I think easily the best part about this movie is the last maybe 50 minutes, I don't know, it's like the last 50 minutes of this film just wrap up everything that's happened. It's just telling you like everything that's gone through, just characters are winding down, they're getting old, and it's just, I love the way it ends. It genuinely depressed me because, yeah, being in the Mafia is not cool. This movie just is like, yeah, no, you don't want to be there. And it's like, it's just so well done watching everything essentially just unfolds, people getting old, and their lives kind of being trashed. Like Robert De Niro's not happy at the end of the movie, and I thought it was very well done. I don't like films that make this crime world look good because it's not, and I'm happy Scorsese thinks, no, it's not good. I'm telling the story because I think it's interesting, but it's not good, and he totally commits to that. And yeah, this movie is so freaking good. I'm just gonna flat out say it. Let's just get to the wrap up. How about that? Guys, in the end, The Irishman is a masterpiece. This movie is perfect. I struggle to find an element of this film I don't love with all my heart. I think this movie is very well done. It's 3.5 hours long, but I never felt that. It's intense. It's engaging. It's interesting. I felt emotion. I was just engaged the entire time, and I felt everything Scorsese wanted me to feel. It's a genuinely touching film. You'd think this would just be a scary mafia movie. No, it's actually touching. And at the end of the film, you're not going to walk out of this film in a good mood. You're most likely going to walk out of this film pretty depressed because you just watched 3.5 hours of mostly straight tension. And overall, I think Scorsese brilliantly crafted this movie, and I'm just going to flat out say it, this is my new favorite movie of the entire year. I think this movie is better than Avengers Endgame. I'm not joking. I cannot tell you how much I loved The Irishman, and if there was a higher rating than 10, I'd certainly give it to it, but there isn't, so I'm going to give The Irishman a 10 out of 10. If there was a higher rating, I'd definitely give it to it, but there isn't. Just to be clear, to beat Avengers Endgame as my favorite movie of the year is something. This movie somehow did that. Like, this movie, I mean, you expect it to be great, but it's miraculously amazing. If you have a Netflix subscription, please, it's rated R, just saying, but like, obviously, but like, if you have a Netflix subscription, please watch it. It is perfect. It is amazing. And it is genuinely one of the best movies I've seen. It's one of my favorite movies of the entire decade. And one of my favorite movies I've probably ever seen. I haven't seen much of Scorsese, so maybe one day I'll watch it and I'll think, no, like Goodfellas and Casino is way better. But I don't know, I haven't seen them, so I can't say. But I've just seen The Irishman, and I think it's awesome. I actually don't even know what I'm seeing this weekend. I mean, I'm obviously going to hopefully be seeing Marriage Story, which is on Netflix. I'm going to be watching The Aeronauts, which is on Prime. I'm going to be watching... I don't know what I'm seeing at the theater. I might go see Playmobil just to see how awful it is, but I might also go see Dark Waters to see how good it is. I don't know. There's a lot going on this weekend. And then the weekend after is Jumanji, which I don't really care for, so whatever. See you guys next time. I don't have anything else to say in this review. Oh, yeah, 4-way review with Night Before Christmas, Claws, Let It Snow, and Noel. I still haven't watched Let It Snow and Noel, but I will watch those soon. I just keep staying up too late to watch them because this movie kept me up really late. Bye.